In the great kingdom of Umuoka, they feared her more than they desired her. She could wrestle a lion, carry a log heavier than 10 men, yet no man would call her wife. But when war came to the land, only the woman they rejected could save them. Long ago, in the kingdom of Umuoka, the people rejoiced at the birth of a princess. The king, Obi Ekochukwu, was a proud and just ruler, and his wife, Queen Nneka, was gentle as rain. But when the midwives lifted the newborn girl, they gasped, for her arms were thick with morsel, her cry was deep like thunder, and her tiny fist gripped with strange strength. The priest smiled and said, "She is touched by Chioku, the great spirit of might. This child will bring both fear and glory." They named her Adana, meaning her father's daughter. As Adana grew, her power grew with her. While other girls learned to weave, she wrestled the boys in the village and won every match. She climbed trees higher than hunters dared, and once, she carried a wounded goat all the way from the forest on her shoulders. The people whispered, "What kind of woman is this?" Her father adored her strength, but her mother worried. Who will marry a woman whose arm is stronger than a man's? But Adana only smiled. "I was not born to be weak," she said. "If a man fears my strength, then he is not strong enough to stand beside me." When Adana came of age, the king called for suitors. Princes and warriors came from far lands, bringing gold, yam, and cattle. But when they saw Adana, their smiles faded. Her shoulders were broad, her muscles rippled when she lifted a calabash, and her eyes were fierce with confidence. One suitor challenged her, saying, "If you can carry me across the stream, I will marry you." Adana laughed and lifted him like a feather, but when she placed him down, he ran away in shame. Another warrior tried to arm wrestle her. He lost before the drums could stop. Soon, word spread across kingdoms, "The princess of Umuoka is too strong for love." Even her father began to worry. "My daughter," he said, "your strength has become your loneliness." One season, dark clouds gathered over Umuoka. The neighboring kingdom of Aboduyuk marched with fire and sword, led by a cruel warlord named Izugana. Their warriors were fierce, their numbers many. The men of Umuoka trembled. Some fled to the hills, others hid their families. But Adana stood before the elders and said, "Give me the warriors that remain. I will lead them." The council murmured, "A woman to lead them? Impossible." But the king looked at his daughter, her eyes burning with courage, and said, "Then let the daughter of my house defend the land of my fathers." The battle was fierce. The enemy swept across the plains like locusts. Adana charged ahead, spear in hand, moving like a spirit of war. She lifted fallen men, struck enemies from their horses, and fought until her arms bled. The people watched in awe as she single-handedly broke the enemy's flank. When Izugana saw her strength, he shouted, "Who is this man that fights like lightning?" "She is no man," shouted the warriors of Umuoka. "She is Adana, daughter of King Ikochukwu." Fear spread through the enemy ranks, and by sunset, the warlord fell. The land of Umuoka was safe again, saved by the woman no man wanted. In the days after the battle, Adana tended to the wounded herself. Among them was a quiet blacksmith named Ikin, a humble man with one arm burned by fire. He watched her move with both power and care, lifting logs, fetching water, comforting children. One evening, as she bandaged his arm, he said softly, "You fight like thunder, but you heal like rain." Adana looked at him, surprised. No man had ever spoken to her that way. "Does my strength not frighten you?" she asked. Ikin smiled. Only weak men fear strong women. You are strength itself, not just in body, but in heart. The princess's eyes softened for the first time. She realized true strength was not to be feared, but shared. When the king heard of the bond between his daughter and the blacksmith, he called them before the elders. The priest said, if she can fight for her people, she can choose her own love. And so, Adana and Ikin were joined under the moonlight, the warrior princess and the man who saw her spirit. The people sang that night. Strength and kindness walk hand in hand, may their hearts never part. From that day, no girl was ever told she was too strong to be loved, nor any man too gentle to lead. And so, remember this, my children. True power does not lie in muscle or beauty, but in courage, kindness, and the will to stand for others. For even the strongest heart needs another to understand it.